Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the service. Welcome to the people that are in the room with us and with our Zoomers. Please, we'll begin with, I'm kind of out of it this morning. Lighting of a candle. The lighting of the candle and the ringing of the bell. And Tegan is ready, I know. We light this candle to remind ourselves of the divinity within us. Please join me in our opening statement. It's number 1 in your bulletin. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And let's think about that for just a moment. And repeat, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And now we'll hear from our musicians, Jim and Jeff.
I'm grateful that I get to play this song when I'm here. If y'all like to stand, Jeff and I will go through a little bit of it, then we can jump in and sing it. I can feel love's mighty power and love's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on his face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence. Surely the presence, surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel love's mighty power and love's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see it only on his face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence, surely the presence, surely the presence of love is in this place. Now, in the hymn book, let's turn to page 101. I know you guys know this song. this isn't a hymn, but for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to declare this a hymn. You can put your books down. I know you guys have heard this song. Jump in whenever you feel like it. I'll kind of help you. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Yeah, you know that. You see it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Take a good look around, and if you're feeling down, do what? And I hope you decide kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Sing it again. I said, put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Your turn. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I was just getting my directions home ready.
Time for announcements. You have an insert in your program and with a lot more detail, but the highlights are today after the service, please join the Zoomers for the after party. You can Zoom in with your phone, iPad, or computer, and details are in the insert. The book study group meets Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Zoom. This week they will be covering Chapter 3 of Illusions, Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Richard Bach. Please contact Ernie Kessel if you're interested, and her email is also in the bulletin. There are still a few seats left for what I'm sure will be a wonderful silent retreat this Saturday. This is a special day for reflection, meditation, journaling, and creating. Lunch, snacks, and art supplies are all provided. There are flyers with information on the tables, and you can see Barbie for reservations. All proceeds will come directly to our church. A week from this Tuesday, the Unravel Journaling and Discussion Group will be meeting downstairs in the activity room. Everyone is welcome, but you do need reservations, so just let Barbie know if you're coming. If you entered through the library today, you may have noticed the new desk. It arrived Friday as a gift from Linda Arnold and John Katselis. A big thank you to both of them. On the desk right now are some items from Sky's office. These are things he left behind for all of us. Please stop by, browse, and take anything you'd like. There are also many books on the shelves in the activity room, and all those books are always free for the taking. When our new administrative assistant, Christy, dropped off our donations at Sojourners this past week, she was told they were in desperate need of women's underwear and children's pajamas. If you'd like to help, please put your items in the bin downstairs, and please remember, we only collect new items. Are there any people here for the first time at Unity this morning? And I know of one of them. This is your first.
Not first, but first in a long time.
First in a long time, yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Phoenix. I'm visiting you guys from Costa Rica today.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Laura for the board welcome.
Thank you, Julie. You bring such peace and warmth. Appreciate it. So I think everybody here pretty much knows who I am. I'm Laura Wellstead on the board at UKV. The light in me greets the light in you. Whether you're in this room, on Zoom, or watching later on, I honor your divine human. Unity of Kanawha Valley is, we say it's a pretty unique place. I don't know if that covers it. It's, to me, it's a jewel in this valley, place of peace, promoting the idea that the light of God, the spirit of love, is within each of us, equally and freely given to all, with no exceptions. And that's a pretty big statement in these divisive times. And also, we embrace the idea that spending time in the silence, that anyone can discover this love, which is the source of all life and love and everything that there is in the universe. For me personally, Unity is a place of spiritual growth and connection with each other, with the light within. I've experienced this kind of connection and growth in expressions of joy, as we saw in our music today, our musical offerings, powerful prayers, and also in sacred service. It takes so many of us to make these Sundays special, and I invite each and every one of you to enjoy the great spiritual growth and love that you'll find in sacred service. And I hope whatever spiritual experience you are seeking, that you will find a light to guide your way with us. So we come together on this day to celebrate love and spiritual wisdom in its many forms, to affirm our connection to this love and to support each other in our own unique spiritual journeys. And I want you to know, and I can't hear this often enough, that you are welcome here just as you are, that you're free to be yourself and to believe whatever makes sense in your spiritual experience. I invite you to take in whatever feels right and true, has the ring of spiritual authority to you and is helpful, and leave the rest. Today you'll be hearing from Jenna Prince, AKA JP, who will be continuing her exploration of miracles with us. And next week, JP will be speaking on something wonderful, surprising, and miraculous about the 12 powers. Affirmative prayer is what we're all about here, so let's just do that right now with a little affirmation, if you would. If you feel like it, soften your gaze or put your hand on your heart, whatever feels comfortable. And if you would, silently affirm with me, I am 100% divine. I am 100% human. I am a divine, audacious human, standing in the fullness of my divine authority. I'll give that one more time. I am 100% divine. I am 100% human. I am a divine, audacious human standing in the fullness of my divine authority. And if you would stand up as you're able and give a yawn and a stretch, and let's say hello to everyone for a moment. Aren't you ready to get in your seats again? Ba-bump, bump, 6-7, yeah. All right. So I want to thank the many people who've made this service possible, our board, our musicians. Music is so, yeah. Yeah. Our AV crew reaching out to the whole world. Our prayer chaplains who keep the high watch and continually pray with and for all of us. Our new amazing administrative assistant, Christy, who's had a wonderful week this week. And I want to thank each of you for being here today. Your being here is part of the world we are creating today. We, in Unity, embrace the idea that we are co-creators with God. And being here today, showing your face to the rest of us, gives the rest of us strength and joy. So, yeah, you're not just holding down a seat. You're part of all that is. Everything you do today makes a difference, and I want to thank the universe God, the source of all light and love, for another day on this fascinating, thrilling, confusing, confounding, and utterly amazing journey. I want to thank our junior bell ringer who was taken. And I want to encourage you to spend some time in silence every day and to remind you that love is your source. And the old tried and true, the pen is in your hand. A new day is dawning for us all. And now I'd like to invite Sharon Mullins, our beloved prayer chaplain, for a meditation. Thank you.
Good morning. If you would like to take a deep breath and maybe even close your eyes. The title of this thought is Life Begins for Me Anew. At the beginning of each day, life begins for me anew. At the close of each day, I emerge from an old world into a new. This is a provision of God whereby I am daily purified and renewed. Each new day gives me an opportunity to begin life anew. When I go to sleep at night, the merciful and compassionate Spirit of Christ frees my mind from all memory of unpleasant events of the day. that is closing. I give up all tendencies to blame myself for the mistakes of the day, since I have acted according to my best judgment at the time. I cease to condemn myself for what I have thought, said, or done during the day. I give myself into the care of the Spirit of Christ, and I am loved and forgiven. In sleep, I am refreshed by the Spirit of peace and love. I wake up to a new day, new possibilities, and new opportunities. I enter into a new world into which I take no unpleasant memories or worries of the preceding day. I will not sully my new day by carrying into it any adverse or negative belief. I give thanks for each day and greet it at dawn with a happy heart and smile. At dawn, I realize that I have never lived in the new day and that it will have pleasant surprises and many blessings for me. I realize that I have but 24 hours to extract from it all the blessings that it has to offer to me. I rejoice each morning that I am freed from every limiting belief that I have previously entertained about myself. I realize in the new day that my failures of the past belong in the past. My success belongs to the present, to the new day. I cease to look to tomorrow for my happiness. I realize that I can be happy tomorrow only through building up a consciousness of happiness today. In spirit, today is the only time. Today I realize that neither person nor thing can keep me from enjoying the blessings of God. Nothing external to keep me from realizing that Christ in me is greater than that which is external to me. This is the way I greet my new day. I rejoice to live in the consciousness that all good comes to me now. And so it is.
Thank you, Sharon. And this dovetails beautifully with that meditation you just shared, because the daily word for today, on Sunday, October 19th, 2025, is forgiveness. And today's affirmation: forgiveness is my path to peace. Occasionally, I may decide that a transgression or mistake is simply unforgivable. However, when I maintain a spiritual perspective, I realize forgiveness is key to moving on from painful interactions and is an important part of my spiritual path. Releasing unforgiveness may be one of the hardest things I will ever do, but I trust there will be peace in my heart and clarity in my mind when I do it. Whether I struggle to forgive another or even myself, I trust there is no judgment and no condemnation of spirit. Whatever the error, the divine presence within can help me transcend it. There is no pain, there is no hurt that is greater or more enduring than God. This is the comfort, and this is the promise that helps me forgive and know lasting peace. And today's verse from the Bible: do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. That's from Luke chapter 6, verse 37.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that loves someone like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It's grace that teaches my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious does that grace appear every hour that I believe. Toils and snares we have already come. It's grace that brings us here this far, and it's grace that leads us on. It's grace that brings us here this far, and it's grace that leads us on.
Thank you so much, Jim and Jeff. And now we're going to hear from our speaker. Laura has pretty much introduced it, but I just want to mention, I was here for the first segment of this talk on miracles, and I was very moved by it, and I'm really looking forward to part 2. So please welcome Janet, or JP.
I've got a mic.
Oh, he's got a mic. Sorry.
Okay. Make sure I'm on. Okay, I'm on. Well, my cousin works in a hotel at the front desk. And one night he got this frantic call from this woman upstairs. And she's like, "You've got to send somebody up right away. My husband's trying to jump out the window." And my cousin said, "Yes, ma'am, I'll call 911. I'll get security up there right away." She's like, "No, it's not a security issue. I need maintenance. The window won't open." Oh. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about miracles. And we talked about how what appears to be a miracle is not a bending of divine law, but it's really the outpouring of divine law. It's learning how to harness and utilize divine laws. But before we can utilize these laws, we kind of need to know what they are. And when we go to the Genesis creation narrative, for generations, this has been told as the story of how the universe began. But we can look at this through another lens. We can look at it through the metaphysical interpretation, and it really reveals how these ancient stories speak to the inner lives of our souls, the spiritual laws that shape our day-to-day existence. Now, when you look at the Genesis story and how the world was created, we find that it relates to us today, day by day, thought by thought, word by word. The story of the creation of the world mirrors the process of manifestation, of creating miracles, if you will. It's a divine pattern through which ideas move from the spiritual realm into physical expression. And we are called to be co-creators of this reality that we're experiencing. So you might look at the Genesis story as our instruction manual. It teaches us the spiritual pattern that is alive in each of us today. So we're going to explore these 7 days of creation, how they unfold as 7 steps of manifestation, how every dream, every healing, every new beginning, everything that we see as a miracle follows this same divine process. But when you read the Genesis story, you'll notice that before creation began, there was a dark void, or something called chaos. But I don't want you to think of chaos as a jumbled mess. I want you to think of this dark void, this chaos, as the infinite potential of possibilities. But before we can begin to create, we have to acknowledge this dark void. We have to acknowledge this chaos. This helps us to release doubt, release the hows. So right now, I want you to take just a minute. You can close your eyes if you like, but I want you to look into your heart of hearts and just ask yourself the question, what do you want to have? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? Release any notion that you can't have this. Just in your wildest dreams, what is it that your heart of heart is saying that you want, that is really yours? So once you have a picture of that, just one thing for today that you really want, that your heart is calling you to have, to do, to be. And then let's go to day 1 of creation. It starts with, let there be light. So we're looking at this dark void, we're seeing infinite possibilities. We're releasing any doubt that we can't have it. We don't have to worry about the how. We just have to know the what. And now we're going to shed light on that. You see, creation doesn't start with form. Creation starts with awareness, clarity, spiritual illumination. So when you have that clear picture in mind, that is the inspired idea, the divine speaking to your heart. And when you quiet your mind in prayer and meditation, when you release the concerns of the human mind, our higher self will light up our thoughts with spiritual light. This is turning this chaos, the dark void, into a blessing. See, day one is the dawning of awareness. Now, nothing has changed physically, but spiritually, everything has changed because you have allowed a new possibility to enter into your consciousness. Divine ideas flow through you. You awaken to new possibilities. Then we're on to day two. After light, the firmament appears. And that's where the Bible says the waters were separated. The waters from above were separated from the waters below. So now that you've shown the light on your thoughts and an idea has come to you, think about this idea. Now, maybe yours is to start a new business. Maybe it's just to be healthier. Maybe it's just to be a better parent or a better partner. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you simply want to live in joy and love and peace. But this is the time when you have a firm place to affirm God as your supply. Now, this calls on you to have faith, to commit to this dream. Despite appearances, you have faith in God's unfailing good. So there's an inner sorting then, like the waters were sorted from above and below. There's a sorting from the human thoughts to the spiritual truth. And at this stage, it's not uncommon to have these human thoughts of doubt arise. Ooh, who do I think I am? I can run a business? What if I fail? I failed before. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the education to fulfill this dream. But this is the time when we choose faith over fear. Fear are these thoughts down here, and faith are these thoughts up here. And faith goes beyond just mere belief. Through faith, we affirm the reality of these divine ideas as our divine inheritance. You wouldn't have this dream if it wasn't within you to accomplish it. So we have to rise above the limiting beliefs and choose thoughts that align with our truth. See, miracles take work. Have you ever heard of an overnight success? And then you heard the backstory of how many years they worked. Well, that's kind of how miracles work. We have to do our inner conscious work, control these thoughts, be focused on this desire that is in us that we are here to fulfill. So on day 3 in the creation story is when dry land appears. Now, this dry land symbolizes stability and structure. So you're building your foundation, you're getting grounded. This is where we're going to use our power of imagination to become clear and specific. Just sitting and imagining something does not cause it to manifest. But imagination produces this mental image of what is to be manifested. Because a dream without direction is never going to accomplish. So now is the time to be very clear and very specific. We want to plant the seeds. We want to set an intention, outline what actions we need to take. And when you commit to this divine purpose, this is when you're standing on firm spiritual ground. Day 4 in the creation story is when the sun, the moon, and the stars appeared. The sun equates with your spiritual I am. And the moon is your intellect, which reflects that true light. So you're going to call on your powers of understanding and will. You're going to call on divine order and timing. But as you develop your spiritual understanding, that's when you really are choosing what it is you'll be manifesting. You're willing to do whatever it takes, but every vision requires order, divine timing, requires rhythm, requires wisdom. So creation follows this order. So you set routines and schedules and priorities. Now, this is not about forcing an outcome. This is about aligning with divine order, allowing everything to unfold in perfect timing, and trusting the divine timing in this situation. Day 5, we see that sea creatures and the birds appear, and these represent movement and increase. Fish actually represent the ideas that move through your consciousness, and birds represent the spiritual thoughts that rise higher. So at this stage, we are called to use our spiritual judgment to discern our useful thoughts from our error thoughts. So if you're still having any of those doubtful, limiting thoughts, this is the time for movement. Move those thoughts from down here. Let's lift them up higher. Here is where your dream gains momentum. You've laid your groundwork. You're beginning to see results. Opportunities present themselves. Resources flow to you. Connections come about. And what was once just a dream begins to become alive. But you got to step out of your comfort zone. You've got to trust the unfolding and experience growth. Your life expands with divine ideas. Day 6 is when we find that humans appear. And this is when we call on our faculties of wisdom and love. Now, as you read the Bible metaphysically, the rule of thumb is that masculine, whatever masculine character is in the story, represents wisdom or thinking nature, and whatever feminine character is in the story represents love. I am not saying that every man is wise and every woman is loving. No, that is not what we're saying. What we're saying is that within each individual is the masculine quality of wisdom and the feminine quality of love. And when we merge these two qualities together, wisdom and love, we bring forth increase. So our goal right here is to add love to everything you think, say, and do. And that completes our work in consciousness. Humans represent our self-awareness, the moment when creation expresses through our conscious choice. Your goals materialize. But more than the physical result, this is about embodying the consciousness that sustains creation. True manifestation, true miracles, not about achieving something. It's about becoming something new. When you embody your divine purpose, you express the fullness of your spiritual potential. And then day 7th is the day of rest, the Sabbath. And what we're resting in here is the assurance that what we have imagined comes forth. It's not about quitting, it's about allowing. It's about learning to trust and let go. Our rest affirms that we are not the doers, that God in us is the creative power. We align our thoughts, we align our consciousness with the higher spiritual thoughts. and then God manifests through us. So during this time of Sabbath, during this day of rest, we celebrate, we express gratitude, and then that completes the cycle. But the thing about this Genesis story, it is happening right here and right now. The 7 days of creation are not literal days, but they are 7 stages of our consciousness. So where are you right now? Maybe you're on day 1, seeing new possibilities. Maybe you're on day 2, where you're sorting your beliefs. Day 3, planting the seeds. Day 4, organizing and aligning. Day 5, growing and expanding. Day 6, bringing the dream, the miracle into form. Or maybe you're at day 7, where you're resting in faith. But wherever you are, creation is in progress. You are a creator in partnership with the infinite. And you have everything you need to create the miracles you want to see in your life. So repeat with me, I am a divine creator. Together, I am a divine creator. Guided by Spirit, I bring forth my good. Together, guided by Spirit, I bring forth my good. My life unfolds with power, purpose, and grace. Together, my life unfolds with power, purpose, and grace. And it is good. Together, and it is good, very good, very good. So here in next week, I'll be talking about the 12 powers. One of my first ministers in Unity talked about how she spent a year developing these 12 powers and what a change it made in her life. And that was the impetus I needed, hearing her story, to learn what these 12 powers were and how I could use them. Also, I'm finding in my studies, 12 powers are all throughout everything I'm studying. So we'll discuss that next week and how you can put those to use in bringing about the miracles in your life. A lot of the information I shared with you today is from the book Heart-Centered Metaphysics. That's by Paul Hasselbeck. I saw a copy back in our bookstore if you want to look it up. If that copy has already gone out the door, just let somebody in the office know and we can order you another one. But I have spent 20 weeks studying that book. There's a lot in it, but it helps you on your journey to learn these spiritual laws. It helps you to create the life that you want to live. And the one thing we know about Unity of Kanawha Valley is that you are fully supported and fully loved, no matter where your journey is taking you. So I am going to turn it over to Julie.
Janet, thank you so much for that good talk, for that very good talk. And I was very inspired by it, and it was very thought-provoking. Thank you. This month, our tithe recipient for the month is the Kanawha Hospice Care Organization. And invite the prayer chaplain to come forward.
Excuse me, sorry. Let's say our divine love moving in through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
I spent my formative years in a denomination that had some basic principles: love God, love people, seek justice, do mercy. And over this past weekend, I saw people all over the world uniting together to speak out on principles such as that. When you pray, move your feet. Bring your love to the people you meet. Get out your chair, walk the street. When you pray, move your feet. Feels like lightning in your head when you reach out to help your fellow man. Stronger and stronger the more you do, each and every time you follow through. When you pray, move your feet. Bring your love to the people you meet. Get out your chair, walk the street. When you pray, move your feet. I tell my lover everything I know. I bring her with me everywhere I go. It's understood we're hand in hand. It means so much when we take a stand. True love travels from heart to heart. It's always there when you're ready to start. Up along a steep and winding road. Gonna love gonna help you lift that load. When you pray, move your feet. Bring your love to the people you meet. Get out your chair, walk the street. When you pray, move your feet. When a hard wind blows and the cold rains down, move your feet and make a joyful sound. The Lord is listening and He's watching too. He'll keep you safe and He'll push you through. When you pray, move your feet. Bring your love to the people you meet. Get out your chair, walk the street. When you pray, move your feet. When you pray, move your feet.
Let us pray. This morning, as I was thinking about this prayer, blessing the offering, I was inspired thinking about every person who has come to this church, been in this building, celebrated the divine here. And I just reached out to each and every person, blessing them, celebrating the great history of this building, of this organization, of this particular group. Just simply celebrating that all is well and all shall be well as we continue to love and support this beautiful church. And so it is. Amen. So let's gather together for the peace song.
Does anyone have, are they celebrating a birthday or anniversary or know someone that is? No birthdays? No anniversaries? Okay. We'll just sing this song. Together, let's pray for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.